Hi guys, I'm Tony Woods and I'll be taking you through the SISNI Guitar Method Fundamental Chord Shapes book number 2. Today we're going to look at the key of G, and we're going back to our open chords now, just like we did in book 1. We went through all 5 keys that were the most popular keys, and we learned the open chord shapes for each of those keys. In book 2, we're going to do the exact same thing over again, but we're going to do it in a little bit more detail, and we're going to add a couple more chords. The first thing I want to explain is it's really going to be worth doing. If you look at the key of G in your book number 2, right around 45, 46, 47, right in there somewhere for you, you'll notice that in book number 1 we only had 4 chords for each key. For instance, in the key of G in book 1 we had G, C, D, and E minor. Alright, in book 2 we're including what's called the 2 chord and the 3 chord, which now gives us a total of 6 possible chords for every key. We're going to cover the key of G and the key of C in book number 2, and then we'll get the 3 other keys, E, A, and D, in book number 3, and that's going to finish out your entire chord study for the fundamental guitar method. Okay, so let me talk to you about the 2 chord and the 3 chord. Where does the 2 and the 3 come from? If you look at the top of your page, you'll see G, A minor, B minor, C, D, and E minor. And underneath each of those, you'll see a Roman numeral. Some of the Roman numerals are capitalized. Some of the Roman numerals are lowercase. To make music easier to talk about, musicians have at some point assigned numbers to the certain positions that the chords fall in. So obviously the G is the first chord in the line, so they call that the 1 chord. The A minor there is the 2nd chord, so they call it the 2 chord. And that's about as easy as it gets for now, guys. The chords in a key always go in alphabetical order. So if you're in the key of G, the chords are always going to be the alphabetical order. G, A, B, C, D, and E. The only thing that's important is to remember or to memorize which chords are major and which chords are minor. And if you look at your book there, the number 2 chord is always minor, the number 3 chord is always minor, and the number 6 chord is always minor. If that's blowing your mind at this point, then don't worry about it. Don't feel like you have to get that idea. Sometime later on in your musical career, it'll come up and you'll learn it when you need it. But if you do get that, that's cool. 6 chords, each one of them gets a number. Okay, so we are going to learn, by the way, the numbers only stay true for the key that you're in. So in the key of G, the C chord is the 4 chord. But in any other key, the C chord doesn't always stay a 4 chord. That's probably going to be too much confusion. So these numbers and these chords only work for the key of G. When you change keys, you'll have all new chords, okay? So we've already got this open shape G chord from book 1. We already know the open diagonal C chord from book 1. The D chord, the D7, the E minor. Hopefully none of that's new to you, otherwise this is going to be a pretty heavy duty exercise. So you may want to go back to book 1 and get all that stuff right first. So for book 2 we're going to add some minor chords and some major chords. So the 2 chord is A minor. You'll remember that chord from the key of C in book 2. The A minor chord can also be used in the key of G. So we've got an A minor chord. Next is the 3 chord, which is a B minor chord. Now, we just did a big review on 5th string bar shapes. Hopefully you covered that review and you don't have any problem knowing your 5th string shapes. You should remember, if you're on a B note here, the bar shapes that we make on this 5th string with that B note are going to be the major shape, or you might use all 3 of your fingers to make that major shape. We've got a minor shape, and we've got a dominant shape. You should be able to do that pretty well on the 5th string by now. I think we just covered that. Let's see, that was covered, I believe, around lesson 7, movable bar shapes. Lesson 7 and maybe even lesson 8 is where we covered this. Book 2. Okay, so you want to be able to do that. So again, we've got the B minor on the 5th string, which is based off of the B there. B minor. In some cases, the number 3 chord can also be a major chord, so we may as well make a B major. That's in your book there. And in some cases, the 3 chord can be a dominant chord, which is a B7. So we want to be able to make all 3 of those types of chords with the number 3 chord. The number 3 chord can be minor, can be major, and it can be dominant. Alright, so you can run through that on your page there. What is next? We've got strum patterns coming up next, and I think we'll save that for the next lesson. So this is an easy one. Just practice your open shapes there. When you come back, we will do the strum patterns that are listed on your modal progressions, the chord progressions in the key of G. Practice hard. Have a great day. See you next time.